I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Clerk, please.
Councilmember Salberg.
Here.
Councilmember Wojtovich.
Here.
Councilmember Freelander.
Here.
Councilmember Royak.
Here.
Councilmember Frede. Here. Councilmember Quinn.
Here.
Councilmember Kelly.
Here.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Here.
Council President Morrison.
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Daily Record and the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township website, and notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk. Approval of the minutes from the March 10th Township Council meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Wojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
No.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 8 yeses, 1 no, motion carries. We are going to do the open to the public portion. Before opening the public portion of this meeting, I want to remind everyone of the rules that apply to anyone who wants to address the council. Any member of the public wishing to address the council will have 3 minutes to do so. While an extension of time may be requested, it should not be assumed that an extension of time will be granted. While addressing the council members of the public may not address or question any individual council member. If anyone addressing the council violates these rules or conducts themselves inappropriately, their speaking opportunity will be terminated and they will be instructed to return to their seat. A refusal to comply will result in removal from the room. Members of the public in attendance may not make comments from the audience without recognition by the chair. Persons doing so will be subject to removal from the room. As council president, I have tremendous respect for my fellow council members and the public who take the time and effort to attend council meetings. These rules are necessary to protect and respect, but also to permit the council to do its business in an orderly and professional manner. As a reminder, when you come up to the microphone, please state your name and address for the record, and there is a 3-minute time limit. Michael Alardi.
Michael Alardi, 19 North Brookside Drive. I see 02613 on the agenda for salaries. There's several minimum salaries that are below the New Jersey minimum wage. I don't know if that's an oversight or if there is a reason for that. Also, there's lots of rocks and stuff on Mount Hope Ave and on the interchanges of Route 80. I know they have a street sweeper that they come down and do it, but they don't do it often enough, and they're either overloading the trucks or not cleaning off the trucks when they get loaded, because it's any day you go down that road or on and off of Route 80 off of Mount Hope, there's rocks everywhere. There's also a ton of dirt in the air. I don't know if anyone looks at their car in the morning, but I don't know if it's from Tilcon or from Picatinny, but especially if there's a little drizzle overnight, the cars are filthy with dirt. So when they do their blasting, I don't know if they're not wetting it down or keeping the dust down, but if something could be looked into for that, because I know people's houses are filthy and the cars are filthy every morning. You can wash your car the night before and they're filthy in the morning. Also, I know there was a request for council reports to be handed in prior to the meeting, and I see there's 3 included tonight. If something comes up from the public or during discussion that a councilman would want to address during their report, I'm assuming that can't happen until the next meeting now because the report needs to be handed in. But there are sometimes things get brought up that would be nice to get an answer during somebody's report if we could. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Alardi, was that Mount Hope Ave? Was that just Mount Hope Ave with the rocks and everything you were talking about?
That's the most critical.
And
Eric
not,
Wakilski?
Eric Wakilski, 120 Richard Street. I'm missing a hearing aid, but I think Mike just mentioned one of the things that I wanted to discuss, and that is the public portion of the meeting right now is at the beginning of the meeting. So anything that transpires afterwards through your input, it gets deferred by the public, any questions they have 2 weeks down the road, if not further. And so I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity, and if not, why we couldn't bring that open to the public back to the end of the meeting, which I think it used to be that way. And I think that's pretty common practice in other municipalities. Code enforcement, I had a situation, many situations on my street in Richard Street. There are issues there, most recently behind your house, Susan, pole barn or whatever it was called is in violation. I think there was going to be something issued, but if not, that pole barn was to be taken down. And as of today, it's still standing there. So I don't know what kind of protocol code enforcement has on something like that. Certainly like to understand that a little better. I apologize, I missed the budget meeting, but I did watch it. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of the things that was talked about was the reserve fund and how important that is to cover things like snowstorms and the associated expenses with that. Manpower, materials, and so forth. And then fast forward to the PD section, I think there was 300 some odd thousand of overtime allocated. And this is the part I don't know. Is any portion of that overtime that's accrued during storms and events like that, is that part of what the reserve fund is for? And if it is, then should we be reducing that line item on the overtime? The last item, and it's been frustrating for me for a while, I've had this opportunity last year to call into both engineering and to the CFO. And I learned at that time that when the voicemail clicks on, all you get is you've reached extension 2102. So I would leave a message who I am. This is a message for so-and-so. Had some conversation with that.
I'm sorry.
If I can just finish.
Yeah, you're at time, but finish your thought.
And it's confusing to me on why there's a hesitancy or resistance to put your name on their voicemail. I work for a company, anybody that works in corporate America has a responsibility, or that has a designated phone line. You'll typically call them and you'll say you've reached the office of Howard Morrison, so-and-so and so-and-so, leave a message after the beep. If you call into the engineering department or the CFO and the administration, what you get, and I just checked it on the way over today, is you've reached the engineering department. You've reached the finance department. I think the public deserves to know, especially if they're calling, that they've reached, they want to talk to the person, Allison, as an example, in engineering, then darn it, Allison's name should be on there in her voice. You've reached Allison Ferrante, whatever her title is, of such and such engineering department. I'm not here right now, leave a message, or I'm out of town, or I'm on vacation. Please leave a message, or you can contact so-and-so. I don't know what the aversion is to that happening, but the administration in particular services us, the taxpayers. It's common in business. Not sure why it's not here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Council President, I'd like to answer some of Mr. Wachowski's.
I'm going to ask you to hold off on that. So just a couple things, because I think you brought up some good questions. So I'd like to take the opportunity to address some of them. The public portion, we used to have at the end, right? So the thought process there is by the time we get to the end, voting's done, right? So what's done is done, so by putting it before, and again, we publish the agenda, you have time to digest it and give your 2 cents before we vote on it. right? So I see both sides. I'd rather give the public the opportunity to speak on things for the council people to consider before we vote on it, if that makes sense. What?
We have one on each end. Something to think about.
Yeah, we'll think about it. As far as the general fund, and correct me if I'm wrong here, there's a certain percentage I think that's recommended. The point is when you have a certain amount in the fund, our bond rating is better, which lowers interest rates.
Correct.
Okay, so it's actually a taxpayer benefit.
It's a benefit, but he was asking about the
Oh,
overtime.
yep.
So, what we do is anything that is left unexpended in the snow and ice, line item within the budget, if there's any money left over, I move that into the trust to build those reserves. Same thing with police overtime. If there's any overtime that is unspent, it will go into that trust to be used for a future snowstorm or any type of storm. It's
Right.
not just.
So it's not lost.
No, it's not.
Okay. And then I like the point about the voicemail. I think it's valid. And again, I don't want to answer for you. When you're reaching engineering, there's so many people that check that voicemail. It's just my guess.
We are in the process of trying to correct that. Those complaints are heard and loud and clear. So we are
There you go.
working to resolve that matter.
She's working on it now. They had been working on that before. I don't know. Okay.
He also had a notice of violation question.
Mr. Kelly, we're done. Okay. Introduction of the 2026 municipal budget. Before we do this again, I want to thank administration for the copious amount of work that they put into here. I want to thank the council for their due diligence, excellent questions and work on the budget. Ordinance 02608, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Can I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Voitovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
No.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 8 yeses, 1 no, motion carries. Okay, so for the next resolution, I do have to read something into the record. It is a little bit lengthy, but I will try to get through it. And it is a requirement for the next resolution to introduce the budget. Resolution R26-67, a resolution to introduce the 2026 municipal budget of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris. Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2026. Municipal budget is under revenues. General revenues, $12,487,873.33. Local tax for municipal purposes, $31,186,027.16. Minimum library tax, $2,261,055 even. Total general revenues, $45,934,955.49. Appropriations, municipal purposes, $42,644,955.49. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $3,290,000. Total general appropriations, $45,934,955.49. Water operating budget. Revenues, rents, fees, and miscellaneous, $3,363,004. Appropriations, general expenses, $3,363,004. Open space, recreation, farmland, and historic preservation trust fund revenues, amount to be raised by taxation, $459,685.70. Appropriations for general expenses, $459,685.70. Be it further resolved that said budget be published on the official website at www.rockawaytownship.org on March 30th, 2026, together with a public notice that the public hearing will be held at the municipal building on April 28th, 2026 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be conducted by the Township Council.
Point of order, Council President?
Not recognized.
Point of order again, Council President. There's not a matter of you recognizing.
You are not recognized.
I have a question, Council
Mr.
President,
Kelly, I clearly said you were not
on R
recognized.
2667 about the introduction of the budget. I have
Mr.
one.
Kelly, you are not recognized. That is 4 times I've said you are not recognized. Resolution R
I
2667, a resolution to
debate that.
introduce the 2026
President.
municipal budget of the Township of
Council President,
Rockaway
I
in the
debate that
County
under
of Mar.
2-5.1.
Can I have a second? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
No.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 8 yeses, 1 no, motion passes. Resolution R 2668, resolution for self-examination of the 2026 municipal budget. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Second.
I need a second.
Who seconded?
I didn't hear.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was seconded.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
No.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 8 yeses, 1 no, motion carries. All right, resolution R 2672. I want to, just for the benefit of the public and the rest of the council, there's a lot to unbox here. So I just like to go over a couple of things. So we received an email on March 19th from Councilman Kelly with this lengthy resolution, which mandates early public release of what we commonly refer to as the budget book, with all materials significantly prior to the budget meeting. Procedurally, notwithstanding the meat of it, procedurally, it was not following our ordinances. So according to our ordinance, all ordinances or resolutions shall be drafted by or receive the approval of the township attorney as to form and legality. Obviously, that kind of makes sense. We want our legal counsel to keep the town out of harm's way. Mr. Kelly did not follow the procedure in this.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Kelly,
did.
you're not recognized.
I'm correcting
Mr.
you
Kelly,
because
you
you're
are not
incorrect.
recognized.
Even the clerk was
Mr. Kelly, you are
notified.
not
Please notify
recognized.
me immediately of any edits to my resolution by you or the township attorney
Mr. Kelly,
with the
you are
submission
not
of that
recognized.
resolution. There was also edits
Mr.
made to
Kelly,
that resolution that was put on the
you are
agenda
out
for
of
the
order.
public to review. So you're lying to the
Mr.
public right now.
Kelly, you are out of order.
Debate.
No debate.
You have to debate under 251. Now you're violating the administrative code.
Which administrative code are you referring to?
251. Regarding objections to you, Council President. I object to,
Questions of order, methods of organization, and the conduct of the business shall be determined by the council president.
continue it.
Unless there is an objection to a determination, in which case the matter shall be determined by majority vote of the council member.
You continue to block my objection and have it went to a vote and for the reason of the objection. So the reason for the
No,
objection
I'm not
is
giving you a chance not to vote. We're not there yet. So you're interrupting.
I
Let
made
me
an
say-
objection.
Mr. Kelly, you're interrupting me and I'm not giving you the floor at this time. Just so everybody understands, Mr. Kelly's asking to, change established administrative processes.
It's
right?
not true.
Mr. Kelly, you are out of order.
I'm correcting you.
Mr.
First
Kelly,
of all,
it
you've
is-
never spoken to me about this to ask me to have the intent
Mr.
of
Kelly,
what my resolution's for.
you are
I
out
would
of
be the better
order.
one to decide that because I'm the one that drafted it.
Mr. Kelly,
So let me read it.
you are not recognized
Why won't you let me read it?
because I'm talking right
But I'm
now.
not going to have you interpret what I wrote.
Mr. Kelly, you do not have the floor. All right. Nobody interrupts you when
I
you speak.
object to what you're doing now.
Feel free to object. I'm going to finish my thought. Okay. And then we are going to follow the quorum. I know
But
you
you're
are
not
opposed to it.
providing accurate information to the public based on the resolution that I drafted and submitted to the clerk
Mr.
that all
Kelly,
of you, including the town attorney, reviewed.
you are out of order.
I'm not out of order. I'm just correcting you.
Okay.
I've
So
made
anyway.
multiple objections and you won't actually address my
Okay.
objection.
So just
under
to make sure
251.
people understand, what Mr. Kelly is asking for, really shouldn't be done in a resolution anyway. He's asking to change a township law, which really should be done.
Again, it's
in
not true.
ordinance. Mr. Kelly, you're out of order.
You're wrong.
Mr.
You're
Kelly, you're out of order. So currently there are two complaints pending before the Government Records Council. It's called the GRC. The complaints are identical.
What's the complaint name?
Mr. Kelly, you are out of order.
What's the complaint name?
Why will you not respect the quorum of the council?
I'm asking you to provide identification
And
of
I'm
these
telling
alleged
you I'm
complaints.
talking.
What are the complaint names and what are the GRC numbers?
There are two identical complaints filed by the same township resident, challenging the township's position that the early release of the budget book is contrary to the quote, deliberative process privilege. In Oprah terms, the privilege translates in what's commonly referred to as the advisory, consultative, and deliberative exception. This exception prevents the Oprah release of records that are part of a deliberative process, such as budget drafts, questions and answers concerning a draft budget, etc. The opinion of our counsel handling our defense against the GRC complaints is that the privilege should apply in this case. All right. The proposed resolution, Mr. Kelly's proposed resolution, is clearly designed to prevent the township from relying on a legally recognized privilege.
It's absolutely false.
Mr. Kelly, you're out of order.
You are completely lying to the public
Mr.
right now.
Kelly, you are out of
I
order.
object.
Okay, I'd like to give you a formal warning at this point, Mr. Kelly. Your goal is to obstruct the business of the council.
That's not true.
Mr. Kelly,
I
am
object to your
speaking.
decision.
You do not have the floor.
Mr.
Okay.
Morrison, I am
Mr.
able
Kelly?
to object to anything that you say that is contrary to the truth or to what is submitted to this council.
Mr. Kelly, listen, I understand your point of view. All right.
What is my point of view?
Mr. Kelly, at least me, and I would hope the rest of the council, all right, would take the advice of our legal counsel, okay, as opposed to somebody who has no legal training. I know you fancy yourself a lawyer,
No.
all right, but you are not. So I would like to let our town attorneys, right, provide guidance. Now everybody can vote their conscience. All right. This is just guidance. I'm not refusing to let you put in your resolution. I will, however, preface it by stating the facts. Okay.
You haven't read one fact yet in regards to my position on the resolution that I drafted.
So
One question then, would you allow me to respond?
as soon as we're done. Okay. As soon as
Done
as
at
soon as
what?
it-
Before the vote, I would want to have a,
Oh, I'm going to give you a chance.
okay.
But again, Mr. Kelly, the quorum of the council requires that people take it seriously. And listen, nobody interrupts you when you talk. This is not about who talks last or who talks loudest. Okay. This is about following procedure and policy and doing right by the town. I know that you think that you are the only one that is concerned with our town. It's just not true. Okay. And we're going to follow the processes. We're going to give the public the due and respect that we owe them. All right. And we're not going to constantly interrupt. All right. Now, as far as being not recognized and out of order, I lost count at 10 each. Okay.
Yeah,
Like
I
Mr.
think I
Kelly,
have-
here's a good example.
I have 12 of you not recognizing
Mr.
the
Kelly,
administrative code for where I
here's a-
object.
Here's another one. Okay. So I would like to,
I object, Mr. President.
Mr. Kelly, you're making my point for me. Okay. I would like to officially give you a warning that should you consider to disrupt the council processes, all right, I am going to call for a vote of censure. All right. Now, should that pass, you will not be permitted to speak on anything except for the matter of voting yes or no on any vote that requires you to do so.
I object again, Council President. And
Understand?
I'm going to a point of order. You have to
I
define
do
that.
not, Mr. Kelly,
Yeah, you can't chill my First Amendment right. on the
Mr. Kelly,
censure end of it.
Mr. Kelly, you do not have the right, all right, to disrupt.
I'm not
legal
disrupting the meeting.
proceeding.
I'm only correcting you, Council President, from the fourth false truths that you're mentioning to the public. You know that as well as I do.
Anyway, so regarding Mr. Kelly's resolution, it is our legal counsel's recommendation. There are a couple ways that we can proceed. Any council member can make a motion to withdraw their proposed resolution from the agenda. All right, that motion will require a second, and a second to proceed to a vote. The resolution can remain on the agenda and move for a vote. If seconded, voting would proceed as usual. All right, I am not pulling the resolution. All right, I am merely giving background and pointing out what our paid legal counsel recommends. Now,
Can I read the
Watch
read the
this.
resolution?
watch this. I'm going to give you the floor and I will not interrupt you. 3 minutes. Go ahead.
For the introduction of the resolution?
No. You could say, you could have 3 minutes to say your piece and then we'll introduce the resolution. You can introduce it just by, again, like any other resolution, reading the resolution as what's on the agenda.
Council President, just to make sure, the same thing that with Mr. Sackett under 2651 and then under my resolution 2662, you allowed me to read it entirely and then provide a cause for the resolution.
I understand that the resolution is.
It's a
in the
little bit
public-
lengthier than the other one, so it would take a little
Mr.
bit longer.
Kelly, the resolution is in the public domain. It's in the agenda
So
packet.
you're not going to let me read it like you did with Mr. Sackett?
I am giving you 3 minutes. You can use it however you choose, starting now.
So before this governing body and as well as the members of the public, we had a budget meeting on the 14th of March. And just like we have a meeting today, there are documents presented for the public to review prior to any action that the council would take. So the March 14th budget meeting that we had a budget meeting with the budget books. We had action that took place. We had votes, things passed, things didn't pass. But the public was not had the ability to actually participate with accurate knowledge regarding to what we were looking at. So this resolution 2672 clearly follows statutory process. Under 4869 40E, it is the mayor's duty to provide a budget for the council to review. And it's also mirrored in our ordinance 231I. In addition to that, we have following under 40A, colon 4-5 and 4 of a time frame when it has to go in front of the budget for us to vote upon. And then we also have 471A1, which is OPRA, the Open Public Meeting Act, Record Act, for documents that people would want to review to get some information prior to any action taking place. What's puzzling to me is that through that whole entire process that we had all that action and it was 7 hours in front of the public, our council here, Council President Morrison, doesn't want the public to review any of the documents leading to the introduction of it, as well as the adoption of it. He only wants you to review it after the adoption in a different format. In 2018 and 19, we had no problem publishing all this information on the website prior to the adoption of our budget. Nobody was harmed. There was no issue. OPRA is not mandatory, and there's nothing in any of the provisions that are in this resolution presented to you that says we cannot provide the documents. Even if Mr. Giatrofano was to be successful in the OPRA complaints, which he hasn't even identified them, all that is under OPRA if somebody were questioning it. Nothing bars us from providing information to the public to review. And if the administration is so confident on those numbers that they give us, and this council is so confident of the action that we took place on the 14th of the budget meeting, why wouldn't they want the members of the public to review to see where our money is going, the savings and the spendings? They don't, because it's reckless on how they spend. There's a lot of meat that's inside there, and we could have cut to benefit the taxpayers. Instead, Mr. Morrison believes that he is some type of a therapist and he can read the minds of others and give somewhat of an interpretation of what the intent was. This was only to be transparent, allow the public to review the same documents that their elected leaders look to review. Perhaps you may have some suggestions from the audience. You may oppose some of the spending that's there. You may have some other concerns of some of the monies that was being dispersed in different directions. You don't, because we don't provide it to you. We only provide it after the fact, never before. So the intent of this is only to provide the public with access
Mr.
to the
Kelly,
same
your time is-
documents that we have. I can finish the thought, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The same access to the documents that we review that are public documents. Salaries, you can go on Data Universe and get the same salary information that's in the budget. You can get the expenditures that we have on there for materials, for services, for contracts, for agreements. But they don't want you to have this prior to. And that's something that I'm passionate about, for the public to review the same documents that we have to see what we're looking at when we make our executive vote. We're the legislative branch of government. We create
Mr. Kelly,
laws,
please.
and we
wrap up.
also are the purse strings for the taxpayers.
Okay.
So I make a motion.
No, hang on.
No, I
You
make a
got your
motion to move resolution 26-72.
Move. What do you mean?
You gotta move it. You're gonna vote on it.
You're making a motion for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You would support transparency for the public, wouldn't you?
See, the thing is,
Mr.
you're
Morrison?
trying to, here's the deal.
Wouldn't you
So,
want the public to review
Mr.
the same
Kelly,
documents
again,
that we have?
I don't know why you can't control yourself and let other people speak. You know, the thing is you throw things out there that are just completely not true.
No,
You're-
You're
Mr.
describing
Kelly-
yourself now, Mr. Morrison.
Okay, is there a second for the motion? Motion doesn't
This
carry.
council's against transparency. Thank you.
Again, you put the council in an impossible situation.
That's not
You
true.
had Mr. Kelly, please, we're not on the schoolyard. Please let people talk.
I understand,
Mr.
Mr.
Kelly,
Morrison.
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have
Mr. Kelly.
you would have a regular debate,
Mr.
Council
Kelly.
President, maybe we can get a
You
better
are
understanding.
incapable of a debate. You cannot let anybody speak.
I think it's the other way around,
Mi-
Council President.
I'm sorry, Mr. Yashfana, did you have something to add? Okay.
I just want to add that, I can confirm that whatever the council president just said, meaning that there was legal advice from our attorney is 100% factual. So, and I don't want this to seem like it's a back and forth that, council president says one thing, Councilman Kelly says another. There was definitely legal advice given to, I believe, all the council members. I mean, I think we were blind copied, but we all received it. And that was the advice of the council. And that's why we're following through.
But in all,
No,
and
Mr.
adding to
Kelly,
that,
you're done.
there was no legal basis. There was no
Ordinances for
citations. There
introduction.
wasn't even
Mr.
docket numbers. like
Kelly, you are
HRC
not
numbers.
recognized.
So that's a poor legal advice.
Mr.
that we gave.
Kelly, you are not recognized. 02609, bond ordinance appropriating $4,248,890 and authorizing the issuance of $3,268,595. Bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede, yes. Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. 026-10, bond ordinance appropriating $1,730,000 and authorizing the issuance, of $1,690,000 bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken in and by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey, for the water supply and distribution system of the township. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede, yes. Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance providing for improvement of various roads in and by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey, and reappropriating $750,000 therefore from proceeds of obligations of the township heretofore issued and funds available under ordinance of the township heretofore adopted.
Motion.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. 02612, an ordinance fixing the salaries of various officials and contractual employees of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris.
I have a question on this though, Mr. Morrison. Just because there's some additions that were from the previous ordinance in 025.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Palmieri, on 2612, what are the ones that are added on that we didn't have before as first title? We didn't have already clerk three, so. On this one? Okay. And was there a reason why? Okay, thank you.
Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich,
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander,
Yes.
Councilmember Royak,
Yes.
Councilmember Frede,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. O 2613, an ordinance fixing the salaries of various officials and non-contractual employees of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris.
Same question, Council President. Mrs. Palmieri,
I don't believe any were added to this one.
this was not one that included an assistant engineer?
I believe the assistant engineer was in last year's.
That was in it? Okay.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. Okay, moving
Council
on.
President, on the consent agenda, remove R 2666 for separate discussion and vote.
I'll second that.
Clerk, please take the roll.
I wasn't making a motion. That was just,
Well, we do it by motion.
well, that's not the law, though.
I understand you, again, you think you're a lawyer, but we're
Well,
going to do it. by
provide me
motion.
with the law that requires this.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett.
No.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 8 yeses, 1 no, motion carries. Okay, we'll do the rest of the consent agenda first. R 2663, R 2664, R 2665, R 2669, R 2670, R 2671. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion carries. All right, if we're going to have discussion on R 2666, again, I'd like to keep it to 3 minutes per council person. You made the motion, Mr. Kelly, you have the floor.
In regards to the resolution, we're rescinding 2 additional resolutions. One, what would be the reason for the rescinding of those resolutions? Mr. Yatrafano?
My understanding is that we're talking about the same property and 3 successive cannabis retailers who wanted to use the same property. One after the other, they fell apart in terms of their ability to lease the property. And this is the survivor who apparently had the wherewithal to do it.
So the reason for rescinding the 2 would be you wouldn't want 2 contradicting resolutions on the record?
Basically correct, yes.
So we as the council, like we couldn't keep a resolution that would contradict another resolution on the books. I'm just making sure that I'm understanding
The
you.
proper procedural approach is to rescind or vacate prior resolutions that should no longer be active for any purpose. That's what this is about.
And what would happen if we didn't do this so the public knows that's why we're doing it?
Mr. Kelly, I'm not here to be a fortune teller. I gave you my answer.
Mr. Yatrafano, I just need to remind you that you are legal counsel for this council. So I don't think you select what you want to do or not. want to
Mr.
do
Kelly,
as far
that's
as
exactly
advice.
what we're paying him for. Please don't admonish our council.
You're paying him not to give us advice?
Mr. Kelly, you're asking him to make
Like you can call him on
suppositions.
his cell phone. He'll give you advice all day long.
You are.
I ask him at a
asking
meeting, he won't even answer
Is
my
it
question.
possible for you to have a discussion without throwing out barbs and insults? Is it
There's no
possible?
barb. Where's the insult?
Mr. Kelly, I am more apt to take the advice of our legal counsel, all right, over, quite frankly, you're asking him for suppositions of things he could not possibly answer that may happen in the future. And to frame it as him not wanting to answer is little silly.
I don't think so, Council President. And what we have here is R 2553 and R 24-169. And again, it's interesting that we've had prior motions that weren't rescinded that oppose motions following.
Mhm.
And what he just answered to me was that we can't do that. We can't leave resolutions on the books that oppose one another. right? You would agree with that.
I'm not agreeing with anything you're saying because
Well,
again,
he said
without
that. I'm
having-
just reiterating
Again,
what he said.
That's not what he said. So,
So then,
Ms.
can
Yachafano,
can you
we're-
clarify that then, Ms. Yachafano, since I seem to be,
hang on a second, because you have 10 seconds left, so finish.
well,
your
you've
thought.
interrupted me on all of that time.
Finish your thought.
Mr. Yachafano, could you just correct that again then? So you can only answer to me if Mr. Morrison says it's okay?
Mr. Kelly.
He's pointing to you.
You know, we can see the script here. If you listen carefully at council meetings, it's always the same thing. It's like a loop. Where are your citations? Where are your cases? What are you doing? I don't believe your advice. Okay. It's simple. It's honest. It's straightforward. Two prior entities who sought to rent this property for cannabis purposes didn't qualify in terms of the property owner for a lease. The protocol, as I understand it, was that they need the approval, of the council in order to complete the process with all the rules, regulations, et cetera. One failed, the other failed shortly after. The council did its job, which is the same job it's being asked to do tonight, based upon the evidence that's been submitted. And it just makes simple, common sense.
So just so the public's aware, what we do is we ask, the council gets their packets on the Friday before the meeting. We ask the council if they have any specific questions such as this to email administration so we can get the proper information, right? We generally try to avoid situations like this so as not to, give the view that, one person is not doing the right thing and the other person is the only one doing the right thing. Again, the rest of the council, follows these procedures, again, just to make sure that we have the information we need. Now, I did do that on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. The way that I understood it from what I got was when a cannabis retailer wants to go into a space, they need, in order to get their license or their paperwork, they need the approval of the township council, right? And that is done via a resolution like this. Now,
Correct.
because there are two other retailers that tried and failed, the resolution R24 happened in 2024 and R2553 happened in 2025. These were similar resolutions to the one that we're doing now. However, because these companies dropped out, those resolutions no longer stand, and now we support the current person going for their license.
And the one thing was left out is that it makes no sense to leave on the books, so to speak.
Right.
Resolutions that are no longer viable.
So it's simply procedural.
Yeah,
And that's all it is.
exactly.
Okay. Mr. Witovich, did you want to speak on this?
I just wanted,
I'm sorry, same 3 minutes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
the resolutions, I'm not concerned about revoking the other ones. It's supporting the cannabis retailer and its location. I just want to say that, I think there's way too many, in my opinion, dispensaries in the area. You go north on Green Pond Road, Route 23 has about 3 of them. You go to Rockaway Borough, there's another one there. There's way too many dispensaries in my mind, and I don't want this to seem like there's a liquor store in every single corner like some municipalities. So I would be against this, the location and supporting another cannabis retailer in our township.
Is this the same?
Is there,
Is this the same kind Kush from Rockaway Borough?
I believe so. I don't know. I would think
Is
so.
anybody here a patron there?
Mr. Kelly,
Well, there'd be a conflict if there was, right?
Mr. Kelly, it's irrelevant.
Right?
Really? Is there anybody else from the council that wishes? Yeah. Is there anybody else from the council? Mr. Kelly,
Freelander.
listen, everybody else, please. Order.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else from the council that wishes to speak on this?
How do you know?
Okay. I make a motion for resolution R2666, revoking resolutions R2553 and R24-169 and supporting the location and operation of a Class 5 cannabis retailer by Kind Kush Rockaway Township LLC within the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Wojtovich,
No.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
No.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 7 yeses, 2 nos. Motion carries. Okay, Alejandro Jimenez Fontana for full membership of Fire Company number 4. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Ooh. Dealer's choice on that one, clerk.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, 9 yeses, motion carries. Congratulations.
I have new business too, Council President.
No, new business and reports were to be submitted.
No,
in
no,
writing.
you only had reports that was indicated from
Mr.
your
Kelly,
motion.
you're not recognized.
I have new business to bring up.
Mr. Kelly, you are
Mr.
not
Mayor, it would be
recognized.
something that maybe you could help with.
Mr. Kelly, you are not recognized.
There was
Make a
no
to
motion
adjourn.
for any direction on new
Mr.
business.
Sackett made a motion to adjourn. I'll second it. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Salberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Vojtovich.
Yes.
Councilmember Freelander.
Yes.
Councilmember Royak.
Yes.
Councilmember Frede.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
No.
Council Vice President Sackett.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize that we could not conduct this meeting. I know you had a couple statements to make. I do apologize for that. To the rest of the public, I apologize for the circus that is going on here today. Rest assured that the majority of the council does not endorse it and wishes it didn't happen. I vote yes. Meeting
I
adjourned.
also, I apologize for
Meeting is
having the
over.
council president lie to this resident